You've been playing MMOs for 5, 10, 15, maybe even 20 years and you've played it all. So you're thinking to yourself, why should I come back to this 10-year-old MMO when there's so many other options out there? You've played WoW, Final Fantasy XIV, Elder Scrolls Online, Star Wars: Old Republic, and many, many more games, maybe even something as recent as Lost Ark. So how does Guild Wars 2 measure in this scenario? Guild Wars 2 came out almost 10 years ago on August 28, 2012. But what makes this game still relevant with its active if not thriving player base with so much competition out there? There are so many new features, expansion creep, dwindling player numbers, and both successful and unsuccessful concepts among the MMO genre. What has allowed Guild Wars 2 to keep its community active and wanting? I've recently returned to Guild Wars 2 after a 10-year-long break where I stopped playing after launch, and something caught me off guard, which no other MMO that I have played has done. My character was still content relevant despite having not been touched in almost a full decade. What do I mean by that? Guild Wars 2 doesn't have a never-ending rat race for gear. Once you reach the pinnacle of gear, which is legendary, you are done with gear progression in the practical sense. The same is said for leveling, with 80 being the max level, even after 10 years of content. This opens up the game to so many other avenues of play that most MMOs will not allow you to, if you wish to stay up to date. With the game being free to play, there is indeed an in-game store, but from my experience with it, it's very player friendly. You can spend money if you want to, but you're also able to convert in-game gold into crystals, the buy to use currency. Everything in the store is buyable using in-game gold if you put the time into farming said gold. There are many ways to level in Guild Wars 2, which I learned when I decided to play a new character for the first time in 10 years. If you want to explore the world to level, you can. If you want to do hearts, Guild Wars' version of very fun world quests, you can. You can even PvP if you want to, and you can do all these options from level 1 to the max level 80. The game itself does not force you to play how the developers of a game want you to play, and encourages you to play the game how you want to play the game. You are given the freedom to pursue what makes the game enjoyable to you. Some in the community call the true endgame Fashion Wars, meaning the endgame for them is to gather cosmetics and be as beautiful, badass, or as flashy as they can be. Some people thrive in PvP and World v World, a large-scale form of PvP. Some love to raid, and others prefer fractals, Guild Wars 2's equivalent of WoW's Mythic Plus. And everyone is allowed to pursue their passion due to the developer's philosophy of building upon the game, and innovating what is good to be better rather than trying to reinvent the wheel with each expansion. For example, Guild Wars 2 has a feature called Living Story, which is a long episodic storyline created in between expansions and lulls in the game to morph the world itself and keep you appraised of the current state of the game world. I've explained the core of the game and why it's still relevant even so long after launch, and I have talked about my experience and opinion of the game. After playing the expansions upon finishing the main story, I could only see how the game continues to get better with each iteration of releases the developers do, and instead of feeling drowned in mediocre content, I feel excited to pursue more of the game, more so than any other MMO I've played in the longest time. The game is intuitive, and I feel rewarded for the time I put into the game instead of feeling like I have to put time into the game. I look forward to playing the game and I enjoy everything I do because I myself want to do it. For that reason alone, I would recommend this game. But don't let me tell you if the game is good. It's free to play until you touch the expansion, so give the game a go. You don't have anything to lose except maybe a little bit of time. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the content, please like the video and subscribe as it would help me drastically. Stay tuned for more Guild Wars 2 content as well as other games. Good night, good evening, and good morning. Ebonheart out.